Hello everyone, you are all welcome to Alveoly E-learning. My name is MK Obin. I'm one of the instructors at Alveoly E-learning. At Alveoly E-learning, we exchange your learning problems with our simple learning solutions like the alveoli of the lungs. All you have to do is to get a phone or a laptop or a computer with an internet. Then with your pen and paper or with a notepad and a pen, you just go online, you sign up to www.alveoly.com and you are good to go, and voila, you are enjoying your lessons at Alveoly E-learning. Alright, so now we are coming to look at acidosis. But with acidosis, let's look at this simple equation in chemistry. Don't worry about the chemistry aspect of it. Just understand the basics aspect and the important things. So, we are saying that with acidosis, one, we made a point that it's as a result of what? When there's accumulation of what? Acid. And to be specific, we made mention of what? The hydrogen ions. So we are coming to look at just a simple chemical equation that will help us to yield these hydrogen ions that can explain why acidosis can occur. Okay, so let's look at this simple equation. When you have carbon dioxide plus water, okay, you produce don't worry about the equation, just follow what I'm doing. So this is carbon dioxide, this is water, then you produce carbonic acid. Then this carbonic acid can break down for us to release this. Okay, so from here, you realize that anytime carbon dioxide combines with water, you are going to have this. Then this one breaks down for us to have this, our hydrogen ions. Then we are saying that for the blood to become more acidic, then it means that it's as a result of excessive accumulation of these hydrogen ions. And that is what leads to what? Acidosis. But here, you realize that the higher the carbon dioxide, the more this one will be formed, then the more you have your blood becoming more acidic. So any condition that can result in what? A respiratory problem, okay, or any condition that will lead to excessive accumulation of what? Carbon dioxide in the body can lead to what? Acidosis. Let's take it again. We are saying that to develop acidosis, then it means that your pH level is less than what? 7.35. And if your pH level is less than 7.35, then it means that your blood is becoming more what? Acidic. But how does your blood become more acidic? One thing that can lead to your blood becoming more acidic is that, one, if there is excessive accumulation of carbon dioxide in the body, then it means that this carbon dioxide will combine with water, will produce carbonic acid, then it will lead to the release of what? Hydrogen ions. Then the excess hydrogen ions will let your pH become less than 7.35. Then your blood becomes more what? Acidic. But which organ in the body controls the exchange of what? Gases? The organ in our body that helps in controlling the exchange of gases is what? Is the lungs. Okay, and it is a part of a system known as what? The respiratory system. Hence, if something happens to the respiratory system or anything occurs in the respiratory system that leads to excessive accumulation of carbon dioxide in the body, then it means that more acid will be what? Will be formed, then it will lead to what? Acidosis. So because the cause of this acidosis is as a result of a respiratory problem that has led to what? The occurrence of what? Or the accumulation of carbon dioxide, then we term that type of acidosis as what? Respiratory acidosis. So this is so simple. We are saying that when carbon dioxide combined with water, you produce carbonic acid, giving rise to what? Hydrogen ions. And we are saying if there is excessive accumulation of hydrogen ions, your blood becomes what? More acidic. However, which organ helps in exchange of gas in our body? It is our lungs, and our lungs is part of what? The respiratory system. So if there is any respiratory problem, it can be an asthma or any respiratory tract condition that leads to excessive accumulation of what? Carbon dioxide in the body. Then it will lead to the occurrence of what? Excess H+ ion or hydrogen ions. Then it leads to acidosis. Then we term that type of acidosis as what? Respiratory acidosis. This is because the cause of the acidosis is as a result of what? A respiratory what? Problem. Very, very what? Simple. So now let's look at some of the causes of respiratory acidosis. So we've already understood that the respiratory acidosis occurs when there is a problem with what? The lungs. Okay. So one, when there is what? Hypoventilation. Okay. So when there is hypoventilation, it means that you are not able to what? Get enough what? Oxygen around you. So if you are not getting enough oxygen around you, and you are having a lot of carbon dioxide accumulate to the extent that most of them are not able to come out, or the oxygen level in the blood are so low that we don't have enough oxygen as compared to the level of carbon dioxide in the body, then there is what? Hypoventilation. So hypoventilation occurs when you are in an area where there is low oxygen level but high carbon dioxide. So, or you tend to accumulate in a lot of carbon dioxide. Okay, so take note, in hypoventilation you can develop what? Respiratory what? Acidosis. Then when there is also chronic airway conditions, like asthma. Okay, so an asthmatic patient can also develop respiratory acidosis. This is because with asthmatic patient, they have what? Either there is an inflammation or there is excessive secretion there. So because of that, they are not able to exchange what? Gas effectively due to an exposure to what? An allergic substance or anything at all that they are allergic to. Then it leads to the occurrence of what? Respiratory what? Acidosis. You can also have an injury to the chest. An injury to the chest. So when there is an injury to the chest, what usually happens is that an injury to the chest might affect your breathing pattern, okay, or it might affect your lungs. So because it's affecting your lungs or your breathing pattern, it will lead to what? Respiratory what? Acidosis. Okay. Then we can also have obesity. Obesity. People who are obese usually have what? Difficulty in what? Breathing. Then in the course of doing that, because there's a lot of work that the lungs have to be doing for exchange of gases, and the system needs a lot of oxygen for metabolic activities to take place. So if the lungs are having issues and it's not able to exchange the oxygen and carbon dioxide well, and there's excessive accumulation of carbon dioxide in the body, then it leads to respiratory what? Acidosis. Also, when there is overuse of what? Alcohol. So let me clean this. So another, when there is overuse of alcohol. This is because alcohol usually affects the respiratory sector in the brain. So because of that, the signal that has to send information to the respiratory center to work effectively is not working effectively. Then it can lead to what? Respiratory what? Acidosis. Then certain sedatives, okay, or drugs that causes sedation can depress the central nervous system. And you know the central nervous system has a control center that helps in what? Your breathing pattern to occur. So if that system is being affected, it affects your breathing pattern, then it leads to what? Respiratory acidosis. Okay. Then the last one, we can also talk about problems before the nervous system. Usually when the nervous system have what? An issue, it's the same explanation as that one. It affects what? Our breathing pattern, because our breathing is what? It's an involuntary mechanism that we cannot control. It's being controlled by what? The nervous system. So if there's a problem with the nervous system, it affects our breathing pattern. Then there's excessive accumulation of what? Carbon dioxide, leading to formation of what? An acid. Then it results in what? Acidosis. So basically, that is all that you have to know about what? Acidosis. We will look at the types of acidosis as well. Then we end this session, the types of respiratory acidosis as well. Then we end this section. Thank you.